and he was hoping that it was a gopher, Richardson ground squirrel, but it looks like, almost looks like what they call a killdeer, and that's kind of the way they sound when they have nests, and they're probably starting the nest. We're a little early, so I'm not going to be going over anybody's eggs. That would be the yoke on me, but it's getting close to that. Usually about the 1st of May is when they happen. Anyway, he's out there making sure that there's no hit and run. I don't have to worry about my front bumper being mashed. He's gonna take them down.
All right, we're getting some more seed. Man, we're burning through those acres. I love it. And Wiggles has been here for a long time. I just don't get to see this poor guy. He finished up rolling all of our peas. Hi, Wiggles. How's it going? It's good to have him back. Well, I mean, his count for gophers, ground squirrels that have peacefully passed away has been up quite a bit, right?
Over 60.
Okay, there you go. Farm harvested ground squirrel.
I eat regular squirrel. I don't know if they'd be any different or not. But
Trust me, he does.
It's been a year and a half since we had some real dry weather, and the reservoirs, impoundments, dams, that little small dams that have backup water like this one, were breached finally, or were just finally wore through the dam by erosion and was about ready to breach. So I remember Nick took the big loader and he came down, and as I was doing one over there, he did this one, and it was really close, just a narrow ribbon on the top of it. So I'm going to let you look at it. A couple ducks in there. So it's holding well. It's got quite a bit of water in it. So that's cool. It's nice to have water around for the wildlife, and so anyway, it's worth keeping these dams functional.
There. I just ran out of product. It's late. I think I'm gonna just shut down. I didn't sleep a lot last night because I was up till midnight diagnosing a wiring harness on this thing. Fixed it, just took a few hours. And I was up early this morning getting water for this thing to keep going today. So I'm gonna go to bed, go to sleep, because I can't see anything out here. Can you guys see anything? So anyways, we'll shut her down. Let's get back home, park it, pick up tomorrow.
Just fired the tractor up about 7:30 in the morning, and gonna check the cedar unit, the toolbar, drill toolbar, just to see what there, might need to be fixed, different things. Well, I walked back here, and one of these hose clamps came off, and the hose that drops the product, the seed, into the furrow is out of that boot. So I'm gonna fix that. Then I'm looking along to see, okay, that is a sensing tube. The product goes through here, hits a metal plate here, which then creates sound. the sound waves travel into this rubber surgical tube, and then it goes into the sensor unit, and that tells me up in the cab which run module. This one is number 6, that's 7. So, and then which one it is, and so then I can come out and fix it if there's a plug. I need to fix that. I think that's came off before, so I'm gonna have to go up in the cab, grab some tape or something, and help hold that into that unit. All right, I think we're good. The other thing we can look at is the bearings in the Packers. There's 2 self-centering bearings in there, and we'll just look. I'm kind of looking to see if the seals popped off, or if it's just finally that it's wore to the ball bearings have fallen out. This one here, the shaft broke, so we took some baler twine and we wrapped it around and kept it together. I know you don't believe me. No, that's from spreading manure, and there was bales of hay evidently in it, and it's in the field, and then it gets wrapped up around the center axle. Kobe's helping me look. There you go. Are you helping, Kobe? Huh? What do you want? He wants to ride. All right. We've had a great week. A lot of acres that has been seeded. We're getting down toward the last chunk of seeding, but it's really getting dry. And it's also very, what we call cloddy. This is not really bad at all. There it is, right there. So it's still seeding in moisture, but I'm concerned about some of the real cloddy. You got some big clods. These aren't bad at all. You know, like this. There's some a lot bigger and thicker. Laying on top of the seed, I'm not sure it's going to make it through. So I think we're going to have some thin spots this year. It's just the nature of the beast. A good rain, a little rainy spell will solve that problem, and that's what we pray for. All right, let me get this hose clamp on, and then I'll get back in that beast and knock some more acres out. In the cab with me. He comes in, then he comes out, goes out, comes in, goes out. I've got some dog food for him, and I got some water, so he'll eat a little bit, drink a little bit, go back out again. Right, Kobe? Do you want to drive? Do you want to drive? Do you? I know where he'd take this bud. They wouldn't be this butts for me. He would take it on a wild hare chase, find some coyotes, chase some birds, whatever. I don't think I want to seed somebody else's land. That would be deceitful if I didn't tell him.
Well, we had a major, not a major, but a little inconvenient breakdown. Easy to fix, but it requires U-bolts that attach to that big beam. Well, looks like the bottom 2 bolts broke off. I don't think that looks normal, so let's fix that. There we go, it's back. But that's not the only thing we got to fix. We were filling the drill over here and we see a tire's off the rim. So let's go put a tire. Go put a tire back on the rim and air it up. Hopefully it didn't destroy the tire. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe just a pull. like a nail, but we'll see if we get some air in it. Okay. Set the parking brake. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's gonna hold a whole lot of air at the moment, but went ahead and brought this tank here, and if you wouldn't mind grabbing a block out of the back of it, you can just toss it over the edge, and let's fill this tank up. So the point is, we're gonna blast a bunch of air in it. There we go, perfect. Did you hit your head?
Yeah. It's always the knot that's on top of your hat.
Takes you a few times to learn to duck when you're inside that that crane. I forgot to tell you. Sorry, buddy. You want to start the truck up and back it up, and I'll tell you when to stop.
Sure.
So we're gonna drive it up on the block on the good tire, so we get the weight off of the bad tire, and then we can air it up. Perfect. Oh yeah. That's what we needed. So now, let's grab an air chuck. And this will work. And this right here. And just like that, it's back on. By the way, I want to show you something. Look at that majestic beast in its natural habitat. I mean, would you look at it? Just look at it. Oh, just look at it.
Well, it's been a battle. It's been a battle. I've been fighting all kinds of stuff. The wind is especially the problem right now. I don't know if you can see the dust blowing that way, but it's not good spraying weather at all. This is terrible. I have no options though, because I have to get this residual, this pre-emergent down before the peas come out of the ground, and they are, well, a couple are starting to come out of the ground. So it's like now or never. It's got to go on. And I haven't had a chance to do this because I've been trying to stay ahead of the air drills and waiting for a day that not's windy. And it's been literally one day of this week that it wasn't windy. And we had a birthday and I couldn't spray the whole day. And then I broke a nozzle body off, barely clipped a rock with the boom over there, and it broke off a Wilger end that no one has in the area. So I have to have it overnighted in. So I got a cap on it right now. So I've got one nozzle that's not working. So it's just been a bear. Late nights, early mornings, but you know, I'm still getting acres done. I know this isn't perfect for putting this down. When you're spraying pre-emergent on, you really don't want gusty wind because you want it to go down straight to the ground. Because if it's gusty, okay, this spot right here might be blowing 10 miles an hour. That might be blowing 25 miles an hour. Okay, well, 25 is going to take your chemical and drift it way over there. Then when I come back around and I come this way, the wind dies down for a second. All of a sudden, you're double applicating that area with twice as much chemical that should have been there, and your peas are going to suffer in that spot. And this area is going to be suffering because you're going to have weed pressure because there's no chemical there. So it's really a tricky situation, and it's just, you got to pick your battle, and I should say pick the lesser of two evils. And either A, I don't get the chemical down, we have an absolute weed wreck, which if it doesn't rain, we're going to have that anyways, but and you're gonna be fighting it, just a nightmare at harvest. Or B, you wait for the wind to die down, spray, and kill a bunch of peas and damage them with the chemical because the peas need to be in the ground, not out of the ground when the chemical goes on. Or C, you just go with it, you spray, and you get some double applicating, some drifting, but you at least get most of the product down and you don't kill all the peas, and you hopefully have some weed control. And I chose C, because statistically C is always the right answer. Now the one thing that does help is I am going slower. I've got my pressure turned down a little bit, so I'm not blasting out the product as much as possible to help reduce the fines. And I am using a deposition agent, which helps the water molecules not get so fine as well. So they're larger water droplets. That makes them not drift as much, which helps them settle in the ground. It also helps it bond with the ground more as well. So there's things you can do to help in the wind. The old days, they had windscreens. We grew up, that's how I first grew up with spraying, was to spray with windscreens. There were these plastic shields that went over, and they helped. You could about put the thing on the ground and keep the product on the ground. It made a difference, but they were heavy, they were constantly breaking, falling off, they were full of chemical all the time, and just, they were a bugger. So pretty much nobody uses them anymore. But there was a time they did work. There, that's it for tonight. Got all the acres sprayed around the farmyard, so all the early seedings of peas is taken care of. So technically from here on out, I should have a little more time on the later seedings because they're not quite as far along in maturity. So I might switch back over to spray tomorrow and spray ahead of the guys a few more 100 acres. Maybe just finish out what's left and then go back to peas, or I'll just keep it in peas. But I'll let you guys decide while I sleep because all right, back at it again. It's really windy today. It didn't die down at all, but it wasn't forecasted to die down. During the night, of course, it's when it's calm and I should be spraying. But I needed a nap. So, anyways, I went ahead and got a load out this morning on the peas. I'm going to switch gears and get back to pre-spraying in front of the guys. That's a little less critical than the pea spray. So I figure if I'm going to be in the wind, I might as well be spraying ahead of them. So I'm heading to the field right now, just loaded up. Everything's running pretty good. It's a little cold out, but we're getting there.
Wow, that was a surprise. Jackrabbit jumped up, and I just happened to, it's flat, relatively flat for miles, and no cover because this was hailed winter wheat in 2022. As you can see, there isn't much cover. It pretty much beat it down and it just completely wiped out the winter wheat. So this is the year we're seeding it, and like I said, normally, rabbits look for cover, but that rabbit must have thought he blended in well enough, and then he jumped out right in front of the tractor. Kobe seen him, and he's off running. Finally, and I bet it's been a week and a half since he's really had any rabbit jump up. And one of the reasons why is like that is that we've had some dry years. We just don't have a lot of stubble left in the fields, and so that's not a lot of cover. So they really are really not in these fields that we're seeding. They're in the last year's crop where there was a little bit more cover. Anyway, he got to chase a rabbit. Got him all excited. Oh, he'll come back. I better make sure that I got some water. Always something. You can't keep, on track. End up following a rabbit's trail.
I want to show you guys something. Take a look at this. This is a glorious sight. You notice what I see? Yellow. Yellow. That means that when I came and pre-sprayed this about a week ago, it's dying. Isn't that nice? That is nice. When you spend like 50 hours in a sprayer going over all this ground, you just kind of hope that it's actually doing something. You don't know until a week later. So it's not like an iron when you're pulling a plow through and you're like, oh yeah, it's dead. I plowed it up. No, it's you spray it and it stays green for like a week. You're like, I don't know if that worked. It costs a lot to put that on there. I spent a lot of time doing it, and I only got one shot to do it. Did it work? Yes, it did. That's good. All right, so this is the wheat ground. Spring wheat. See if we can find some kernels here. There's one right there. And it is in moisture. And I think, yep, it's just starting to germ. This camera doesn't focus very well, but they're just starting to drip. So that's a good sign. Now if I go over to here, sorry about the wind. It's been, like I said, you guys know, I don't even need to talk about it. But I gotta get a better mic set up for these cameras. We got a new option coming, so I'm gonna try it. So anyways, back to this. Okay, pea ground. Let's see, this is some of the later seeding. We call it seeding, not planting, because we run an air seeder, not a planter. Should be peas in here somewhere. Just kind of keep digging. Oh, right there. There they are. So, those are probably 4 days out from coming out of the ground, so I'm good there. I got the early stuff done. That was the plan, but I'm gonna keep pushing through, just get it all done. Okay, where was I? All right, just ran out of product. Let's race all the way back about 5 miles that way, 5 or 6 miles, something like that, and go to the pump station. So to kind of make things more efficient on the farm, I've done this in the past, and I decided to do it again this year because we got 2 guys in air drills. Brad the Wiggly Wagster is done rolling, so he now is tending trucks to the air drills, which frees me up to run the sprayer. So that's, what is that, 4 guys in 4 operations basically. But we have one more thing, and that's hauling water to my sprayer. The easiest thing I thought to do is we'll just park the tender at the pump house and let it gravity feed slowly into the tanks, and then I just commute with the Brute, because the Brute commutes like 50 miles an hour all the way to the pump house for every fill. And that way Brad doesn't worry about trying to tend the trailer. Does that make sense? Also, with this integrated Raven auto steer system and not having the autopilot or easy pilot steering wheel in here anymore, I have a new steering wheel. It's an old one we had in the shop. We used to use it for the big buds. We sit on the shelf, so we adapted and put it in here. Well, it came with one of these. I love it. Oh man, it is sweet. I love those things. Should have had that on that old steering wheel. It even had a hole for it and never put one on it. So anyways, let's cruise. When you're booking speeds like this, it's a good idea to put your seatbelt on. It's a good idea.
All right, well, I've got some passengers. This bus is full. I've got Rose, Sky, say hi, Luke, and Lily. All right, they're going for a ride, or I think they found the horn. Or the other thing I can do is teach them how to do it. Yep. And then they can run it. Hey, anybody out there wants to run this thing? I think I'm getting overwhelmed. Just kidding.
All right, we're full. Let's make the trip back. Let's keep going. These booms definitely block my visibility a little bit. I got little gaps I can see through, so I just gotta move my head around until I get a good visibility of the road, and then I make the turn. Huh, I just looked down and look at that temperature. That's the engine water temp. Clearly something's going on here. The fan's running. I don't know if my water pump just failed. That would be my guess. I don't feel heat coming out of here at all. But, there's no heat coming out of that. That's interesting. I think the water pump just failed. I'll let it idle a little bit, see if we can get it to cool down. Well, it is dropping. So, I mean, that's a good sign. I don't know why. I mean, I hit kind of a bump back there. It wasn't terrible, but now the light's back on again. Everyone always taps the gauge. You gotta tap them. I know, it doesn't make sense, but you just gotta tap them. See, it's climbing back up again. Huh. I wonder if that gauge is accurate. Look at that. You see that? jumped all the way up to about 240, 250, and now it's backing off. That's where it should be right there. Maybe the thermostat's stuck for a second. Why would it do that? Well, that is weird. Oh, is it going back up again? I'm just idling, so it should not be doing this. Well, it's back down. I don't know, it wasn't terribly hot. It's not blowing coolant out the radiator. And I felt the tube and stuff. It didn't feel like it was crazy temperature, so I guess I'll just keep going. We're running and it's not climbing, so that was just weird. I don't know why. It's the first time I've ever seen it do that. But when I get it back to the shop, I'll pop the hood, take a look at the coolant level, and just see if it's low for some reason. If it's that low that it happened to drop below the sender. I don't know where that sender is located. Weird. All right. The engine oil temp's not high. We're good. Doing it again. It did just drive up a hill. I wonder if it's just that low on coolant. Man, I checked it at the beginning of this year. No, I did last fall. Huh. I haven't seen any coolant leaks. Well, I suppose I better stop and let it cool down. I just don't think I believe it. There's pressure in that hose. It's not too hot to touch. It's hot. It's not too hot to touch. That's not bad. That's the suction, so it goes through the water pump, through all the block, head, everything, up to a thermostat, up out there, back down again, gets cooled, goes through, heat taken out. This should be the hot side, and I can touch it. If that were 280 degrees, my hand could not be on that. So, we got a faulty gauge somewhere. There must be a wire, which I bet is this one right here. I bet you that's the water temp sender. So I was wondering, well, if the water level's low, say it just for whatever reason just low, there could just be getting an air gap where that water sender is, and now it's getting hot. I've seen that happen in other engines when the coolant gets that low. But that would be crazy if the coolant be that low because there's no leaks unless the engine's burning it. There's the harness. It just doesn't have signs of being hot. But that there is telling me it's hot. Strange. Oh, I hate shutting everything down because, well, then I have to boot it all back up again and it takes a while, but let's just turn it all off. I'll pop the hood. We'll take a look and see. All right, there we go. Let's open it up. It's not a light hood, but if you open the front grille up, it's actually balanced pretty well. It's a lot easier to do with two people, but you gotta do these tabs down here first, which we welded on there because the original ones were shot. 1 second. Watch your fingers. And there's one. There's the other. Now, fun part. Now, if it was 280 degrees, this hose would not be able to collapse like that. Hear it? I think the coolant's just down that low. So where's all that coolant going? Well, I didn't drink much of this. This will help a little bit. And then I'm like 10, 15 miles from the farmyard and everything guys are working, so I'll pour this in there and then I'll just have to add a bunch of raw coolant to even it out. So hope this will get me by. It isn't much, but I do have a whole tank of chemical. I think you guys would frown upon that though. So we're dropping up and down, which means it's splashing around on the sender right now. So we're good for the time being. I'll be okay. I'm just about out of product. I just don't really want to go back with anything in the tank because I want to get it all in the field here instead of hauling it back and then hauling it back here again. But we're just about out. We'll make it. All right, we're good. Let's go home. Get some coolant in this thing. 4 gallons. We'll put it in there and see how far we get. Since I dumped my water bottle in there, which was about a gallon at least, I'm gonna dump this not mixed. Yeah, that's right about right. Good. That's still a bummer. It's down 5 gallons. That's maybe we didn't check it. I don't know. Maybe it was last fall we checked it, but I remember checking it when I welded that hood up, which I guess would have been last fall. So I'll have to keep an eye on why it's using the coolant up. The only place it can go is, well, through the head gasket, which would be burning it in the piston, which is not a good thing. So we'll keep tabs on it and see how far it drops after a few hours. I think I'm gonna shut down for the night. Tomorrow's gonna be a nice day to spray. I only got a couple hours left of light, maybe 2 at most, and it's way on the other side of the farm to get back there.